Hello everyone, my name is Zach Pickard, and in this quick screencast I will walk you through the basics of using IXL, how to navigate the dashboard, assign skills, and monitor student progress. There is so much more to IXL than just these three topics, so this will be all about just getting your feet wet and something actionable that you can start working with right away. And although this screencast will be helpful for anyone looking to use IXL, I will be focusing on it from a math perspective. So let's jump right in. First, you're going to navigate to ClassLink and find the IXL icon and click it. That's going to take you to the teacher dashboard where you will already be logged in and ready to go. Across the top, you're going to see learning, assessment, and analytics. And let's just say for this screencast that you are looking for a skill for your students to practice, and that skill is, say, for an Algebra 1 class about solving two-step equations. If we hover over learning, we see lots of options here. All right, but let's just, for this, let's go to skills and click it. And that's going to bring us to this page where we can see all the different grade levels and all the way up through calculus or even integrated classes as well. And some of the skills you'll see actually even exist in multiple different subject areas. But for now, let's go to Algebra 1. We can see that there's 378 skills. When you click that, you're going to be inundated with a very extensive skills list. So we're looking for that two-step equation. So I'm going to focus primarily on looking at these overarching categories. And if we scroll down, we can see we're solving linear equations right here. And so we can see solving one-step linear equations, solving two-step linear equations, which is exactly the one we're looking for. And if we click that, we can see what that skill is all about. Hovering over it, you saw some of the example questions there as well. If you wanted to practice and see like what types of questions we're going to get, you can start solving equations here. In fact, let's go ahead and do that, and I'll save you the math. We're just going to answer some questions correctly here, but you'll notice it keeps track. This is a student view right now. It keeps track of how many questions are answered. It also tells us a SMART score. You'll notice that it jumped to 10 out of 100 already over here on the right. Okay, SMART score is not necessarily, it's not the questions you get right. You'll see kind of how it goes up here in just a second. Here we're going to have ours. Oh, I meant to click 3 there. But hey, this is good too. We can see what it tells us when we get a question incorrect. And it tells us what the correct answer should have been. It told us what we answered. And then it also gives us an explanation on how we could solve it correctly as well. Right, showing us all the step-by-step and everything. So that's very nice. So we'll click got it. And another thing to point out is students can also click a video here to show them how to solve the equation as well.
Right?
It walks them through.
If the expression we need to isolate is being divided by a number, we need to multiply by that number to isolate the expression.
I'm not going to let you watch that whole video. We don't need to do that. But it does show them how to solve the equations as well. Okay. I just want to answer just a few more. You'll notice it's now at 19, and eventually, as you answer questions correctly, it jumps up pretty quick. But eventually, it slows down pretty fast as well. As you get up towards 70, 80, the number of SMART score points you get is smaller as you answer more and more questions correctly. Okay, and so the students really have to master a topic to get it to 100. Like, in fact, it's so much so that I often will tell my students that they only need to get to a SMART score of 80 or 90, just depending on what topic it is I'm asking them to do and the time-consuming nature of that topic. Here, I'd probably put it around 90 because getting that extra 10 just requires so many more questions, and missing one drops them back down pretty far. All right, so I'm going to go back, and we want to assign the solving two-step linear equations. Well, if I click the star right here, that's going to assign it. We can see right below that, it starred all of my classes. And if that's what you want, great, that's perfect. But if you don't want that, you can maybe you like, I just want to assign this to my honors classes, and so I can just star those two, right? And you'll notice that it's a striped star, and so it's showing us that it's only been assigned to a couple of them. Once I have assigned that skill, I'm going to come up here to analytics. I want to see what my students have been working on. So I come over here to score grid and I click that. And what's going to come up is a list of all of my students in all of my classes in alphabetical order. It's not the best way to look at students, as well as every single topic in all of Algebra 1 that maybe they could have worked on, or in this case, my students are in geometry. So there's lots here with a whole lot of blank stuff. It's just not a good way to look at scores. And so up here at the top, we can see a couple different things. First off, it says students, all students. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I want to change that away from all students. And then maybe I just want to look at one of those honors classes from just a moment ago. Now, I can now just see the one class, but I still have the problem of seeing all of these skills. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on practiced skills or currently suggested skills. And so if I click currently suggested skills, you can see that I have recently assigned 2 different skills. And from here is where I can see the SMART scores that students got. And just from a quick glance, you can tell probably that I assigned them to get to a 90. And some had either chosen to go further than that, taking it all the way to the 100, or didn't listen and took it to a 100. But I had assigned them to go to a 90, and so we can then go through and transfer it to our gradebook as necessary. I can see exactly what SMART score they received. And so as you're seeing these scores, you can maybe hover over each individual score. You can see how many questions they had to answer to get that SMART score that they have, and also how much time that they've taken on that particular topic to answer that many questions. And if you really want to dive in, you can even click on a particular student's score there, and it's going to give you a summary of their SMART score as it went up, when they came down in SMART score, so how many they got wrong. We can see all the questions individually that they got correct, the ones, if they missed any, which ones they got wrong, the answers they chose. And so you can actually get a good bit of information here. And then at any point, you can go back to the dashboard by clicking My IXL. And that's all we have for today. I hope this has been helpful. I'm Zach Pickard. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Otherwise, start kicking butt with IXL. Thanks.